What's up, yo? So, what is the Illuminati? The Illuminati is a name given to several groups, both real and fictitious. Historically, the name refers to the, I think, Berivian Illuminati, an Enlightenment era of secret societies founded in 1776, May 1st, 1776, in Bavaria. I believe that was a city. Oh no, that was the original name of Germany. That's the original name of Germany. So the society's goals were to focus mostly on superstition and different religious influences um, over public abuses of state power. Um, I think the order today is to write any general statutes of like Freemasonry. Like I think they actually are the founders of Freemasonry and other secret societies. I think their original idea was to kind of keep an eye on, or maybe keep control on political corruption. Um, it was actually encouraged by the Catholic Church during the 1700s, like the late 1700s. And during those years, um, the group was generally verified by conservative religious groups who claimed the Illuminati continued underground and were responsible for the French Revolution. So, so like the French Revolution, I think the original Illuminati was more like a revolutionary group that fought against corruption, against political corruption. They fought against political corruption, but in return, it was sort of demonized because they sparked, like I said, the French Revolution. So ever since then, they were demonized. Many influential intellectuals and progressive politicians counted themselves as members, including I can't remember the name, but you have some great scholars and big names back during it. I can't really name anybody from the 1700s, but you had a lot of people who were actually selected in command and to um, help lead and organize the organization. This is before the name Illuminati. They dropped the name Beruvian or Baravian. They dropped that name and became just Illuminati. I don't know if that was official, but that's how they became known as the Illuminati. Um, and They were referred to as various organizations and led to that were originally the Baravian Illuminati, who are linked to the original organization. You have so they were actually more of a group who were often accused of political power and influence over nations and countries, and which is so-called the New World Order. That's what the New World Order is. See, the original New World Order was the idea to see. Actually, America, the United States, is actually a this is actually a result of the idea of a New World Order. They wanted to change the way the government and politics and economy and how everything was ran. And they wanted, I guess, in a way, they kind of did want more freedom, or they just felt like they didn't really like how the world was really being ran, and they wanted to change and make it different, make it a different, just a different idea of government. And the conspiracy is that, like I said before, they were responsible for or they were accused of being responsible for the French Revolution and other revolutions throughout history. And they think that ultimately This is what really sparked um, the the voyage to find new land. You know how the British came to America to find new land and really build a new world order, as they say, which is the United States. So, central to some of the more widely known conspiracy theories, the Illuminati is depicted as lurking or pulling strings um, of power, having kind of being like puppeteers, I should say, over different politicians and presidents and so forth. Maybe even the music industry, video games, films, television shows, novels, different cultural influences. I guess they had, I guess the Illuminati or the Bavarian Illuminati was, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's Bavarian. I think it's Bavarian Illuminati. Were they had their own little agenda that they were pushing, of their own idea of how society should be, or their own, I guess, their own image, their own picture, I guess. And I really believe that the United States is um, the embodiment of what you call the New World Order. Um, so, Freemasonry. Freemasonry was actually the finding of Freemasonry. Freemasonry was expensive. Um, it wasn't an open idea, or they weren't open to their ideas. That's why so many people know so little about the Freemasonry to this day. Freemasonry had its own agenda that was probably a little bit different from the Illuminati, but kind of linear, kind of on the same page, but not in the same direction. Maybe in the same direction, but not the same page. So Freemasonry was um, under the Illuminati, or it was one of the organizations. See, the Illuminati is actually it was it was like a corporation or conglomerate of different organizations and different societies. You also had another organization called secret society called the Owl of Minerva. Some of you ever heard of Minerva? I think she's a Greek goddess. I'm not sure if she's Roman or Greek. I think she's Greek, but Minerva. You had groups of people who still worshipped or believed in even to this day. So I don't know if it paused or not. Today, who still believe and practice the old religions of Greece and Rome. They still worship Apollo. See, in America, you have to understand there's a reason why there's so much homage paid to the Greek and Roman gods. Even if you go to D.C., I think if you go to the Capitol Rotunda, if you look under the dome, they have a painting of all the Greek gods. They actually added George Washington to one of them, but all the Greek and Roman gods are painted up there. They what I was going to say, the Roman gods, but they also, even our calendar, we follow the Gregorian calendar, and which is named after the planets, but the names of the planets are actually names of Greek and Roman gods. So this country is not quite built the way some people believe it is. Yes, there is a strong influence of Christianity in America. It is, but but you have to understand this country. I think that as far as government and politics and so forth, they have a different religion. In fact, in my personal opinion, I don't believe that there's really a secular state. We have separation of church and state, but many people look at that as church and then secular, religious and secular. But I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that the state is really a secular. I think it's just it's non-Christian. It's just they have a different God. That's what I want to say. I believe that the state is a religious entity. They just don't follow the same customs of the church. That's why they separated the church from the state. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know how true that is, but you do have like I was talking about. You had secret society called Owl of Minerva, and this is where you get the owl. Some of you know about the owl, like that's the symbol that the Illuminati uses, and you have Drake, the rapper Drake, used the owl, the same owl that the Bohemian Grove uses, but that Bohemian, that's actually the owl of Minerva. It comes from as their symbol, and these members were an aliases to within the society, the people of Minerva, the worshippers of Minerva. I guess these are they were aliases. These are different. These are different groups and fraternities and even colleges are involved in some of the what we call the Illuminati, or everything is it's hard to say it, but unfortunately a lot of things are connected back to what we call the Bavarian Illuminati. So I think in it was April 1778, the it became the they changed their name again to um, Order of Illuminati. That's the official name, Order of the Illuminati. And that's when they contemplated the name was actually supposed to be the B Order. I don't know where that comes from. It's supposed to be the B Order, BEE, like as a honeybee or bumblebee, but they changed it, but they kept it back to Illuminati. I don't know where that came from. What the B was supposed to stand for. I guess they came up with a different analogy or different. I don't know. But anyway, let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to do all this off the top of the head, So I'm trying to think. Because I pretty much said everything I wanted to say, really, about the Illuminati, the original, the original Bavarian, because the original Illuminati was a real thing. I don't know, because you got a lot of people who said the Illuminati is a conspiracy and that it doesn't exist. No, the Illuminati was a real organization. They got books. They're actually in the history books. You can actually read on the Illuminati. It's not like it's not a conspiracy. It's like it's kind of like Freemasonry, right? Like we know that Freemasonry exists, right? But we know so little about it that now you have a lot of conspiracies. Anytime you hold a lot of secrets and with, you kind of withstand from releasing information about your organization, of course you're going to have a lot of people start creating their own conspiracies and guessing what you're doing and looking at trying to figure out what you're doing, or it's in many people's minds. If you're keeping a secret, it usually means you're up to no good. Many people way of thinking. Most people think like that. Most people have a way of thinking that if you're keeping it a secret, then it must not be good. That's just how I think most people think. But I do believe that the Illuminati is still in power. I think they're still they're still established. They're still in effect. They're not defunct. They say now they say it's a defunct now, but I think that maybe the original Illuminati might be defunct, but I think over time they have evolved into a different organization. Like, you got to think, an organization is not going to be the same as it was hundreds of years later. It's going to change. It's going to be different, But y'all can look up the Bavarian Illuminati. That's the original Illuminati, and you can look that up because it was a real organization, and they did have influenced in different revolutions and different, maybe even some wars that maybe even sparked a few wars throughout history that changed. And I think that they are also responsible the um, the voyage to come out and search for a new land here in the new world, what we call America today, which is really it's not a new world, but to the Europeans is the new world. And I think the idea was to basically start and create a new country, a new land that's run the way they think it should be ran. Matter of fact, to be really honest with you, this is my own personal opinion. I think the Illuminati was secretly against the British royal family. I think they didn't like the British royal family. I believe that. Some people say the British royal is the Illuminati, but I think that the original Bavarian Illuminati was a group of people who had an issue with how the British Empire was being run and was trying to figure out a way how to overthrow it in a way. And they probably had high members of society. They probably had politicians, priests, judges, military. They had a lot of people, bankers. People in high positions who had the same ideology. So that's all I want to say. This video is kind of long. I might make another part. So I'll talk to y'all next time. All right.